All right, well, I am on the water before 7 a.m. for the first time in weeks because I almost got arrested last night. I'm trying to canoe from northern Minnesota to the Gulf of Mexico, and after 672 miles, I finally made it to my home state of Iowa. Good morning from mile marker 666. We are currently at our sandbar, and today we're gonna go to Marquette, Iowa. And we're only gonna go to Marquette today because I'm gonna take a day off tomorrow to see family, meet my niece, and then we'll get back on the water on Monday probably. It's about 30 miles to get there, so hopefully we can get there in about 6 hours. We'll see. Quiet morning. I am approaching Lansing, Iowa. Now it is Saturday, so I think that once I get down towards Prairie to Sheen, I'm guessing there's gonna be quite a bit of boat traffic. But right now, it's just me and the buoys. A little bit of chop out here this morning. Somehow it is like dead calm out here now. Do not know how that works. And I'm in pretty open water here. We are approaching Lock 9, just made it through this big part of the river. It's up there. There we go. Whew, still, I don't know how far I have to go, I haven't checked yet, but not exactly fun. Putting this away so I can paddle. I believe I have come upon the confluence of the Yellow River and the Mississippi River. Probably my favorite river of Iowa. I am going to have to fact check that, but I think this is it. It looks familiar. After a pickup in Marquette and a nice weekend at home, it was right back to the river with fresh clothes and more food. Back on the water in Marquette, Iowa, right next to the casino. It's a good sign. 5 to 10 mile an hour winds today. Coming out of the northwest, I believe, so that should be nice. And we're gonna try to get through about one lock and hopefully end up north of Dubuque today. About 45 miles is the goal. It's about 8:15 and we're gonna get going. Really a great part of the river. It's kind of funny. I guess you don't realize what you got, because I grew up coming around here, camping and stuff, and it was always cool, but probably one of the most scenic parts of the river so far. Clayton, Iowa, the Bernard Pattison is getting loaded up. See you downriver, Buster. Looks like we got a little tow taking off in front of us. I'm not really sure who's gonna be moving faster. I would assume them, but we'll see. Approaching Lock 10 and the town of Guttenberg, Iowa, which is pretty much right on the lock. This means that I've already went about 20 miles today. I think it's only like 11:30, so I might be going like 6 miles an hour, making great time. A little bit of a tailwind. It's a little bit cooler, but there's still a high of like 85 today. So the random clouds are very appreciated. I'm at a big old sandbar. Can't even get to the top. For lunch today, it's about 12:50. And we are about 5 miles past Guttenberg. If you're wondering how I am going so fast today, this is the answer right here. So it's moving pretty fast. It's also a lot narrower here than it was a few days ago, like up by La Crosse. And we even have a tiny bit of a tailwind. I don't feel it too much, but allegedly it's there. So, gonna get some food. Having some almonds. These are a new snack right here. And then we're gonna get back on the water, and I'm hoping that we can get another 20 or so miles in. I mean, if we're moving good, might as well keep going. Here the fuck is Wapaton? I am about 5 miles out from my anticipated campsite, and let me tell you, it is not cool out here. The weather said that it was cooling down. Well, maybe a little bit, but there's like no wind, and the sun's out, and it's still humid, so it's still not ideal. Whee! Hello, hello. It is about 7 o'clock. I am at camp. A bit of a weird situation. I will explain that in a minute, but first, supper tonight is a double dosage of Chef Boyardee raviola. Just lightly warmed. I didn't want to have to boil anything because it's pretty warm out, and that just completely makes me start sweating, and I'm finally starting to cool off, so I didn't want to do that. The new stove, shout out to Walmart, and whatever brand this is, it's the really cheap one. This was about $14, I think. Stove's working well. I did reload on some propane, so I didn't completely run out of any bottles of propane, but I decided to reload anyway when I had the opportunity to. And yeah, today we did 46 miles, and I was at camp by 5, so really, really good omen. And I'm going to show you camp in 1 minute after I eat this ravioli. Alright, so I got to the campground today, and it's still pretty majorly flooded, or at least there's lots of pools of water everywhere. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of stealth camping and a little back trail back here. Here's what we're looking at. Did actually have a dog come running back here. That was pretty awkward. And then the guy was like, "Oh, I didn't know you were back here." I was like, "Yeah, kind of the flood." July 17th, we are on the water. Today we're gonna go through the town of Dubuque, Iowa, probably in about an hour here. And then we're gonna make our way down towards Bellevue, Iowa. So I'm in this little swampy backwater, and I'm getting a little worried that I'm not gonna be able to find a way out. I already found one little outlet, but it was completely clogged with flood debris. Barge. Barge Company. I'm on the outskirts of Dubuque, Iowa, and look at this really nice campground. Normally it's next to the river, but if you go now, you get to camp in the river. We are entering and approaching Dubuque. Look at this guy. He's just pushing his water. Dubuque. Industry of Dubuque. Coming up ahead is the Mississippi River Museum. Mississippi River Museum, I believe, was a 5th grade field trip for me. So, it's all coming back to the beginnings. I believe that this bridge is pretty much the signifier of goodbye to Wisconsin on our east side and hello to Illinois. And Illinois is going to take us all the way to the Missouri. So this is going to be a long Illinoising ride. All right, this is gonna be my first time getting passed by a very large boat. This is not a barge, this is a little tour boat. Showing the people of Dubuque the Mississippi River. The Twilight, mid-name. All right, let's check out the wake that this thing's throwing behind it. Looks solid. Nothing to be ashamed about. Time for a little snack break. Look at the river. It is moving quite well right here. Partially because there are some rapids right there, so it's not completely a genuine look at what the whole river stretch is like here, but it is still pretty fast. I've gone about 20 miles already this morning. Here's my plan. Gonna go about 15 more, and I'm actually gonna meet my parents in Bellevue, Iowa. Get some food, maybe even some drink. And it'll still be a decent day, just shy of 40 miles. And yesterday I did like 46, so not too worried about it. And we're still waiting on a few locks to open downstream, so can't rush it too much. But I'm about done with my snack and ready to get back on the water. There is quite a wind today, which you'd think would be nice, but I have to steer a lot more. I have to stick my paddle in the water a lot more. Another barge, and this barge is in front of Chestnut Mountain, which is a ski resort that, you guessed it, I also went on a middle school field trip to. Technically, I believe that, or people say that that's in Galena. I think Galena is a little more that way, maybe inland too. But okay, I'm gonna put this away and try not to get hit by a barge. Lock 12, Bellevue, Iowa. This is gonna end the day.
And so John was telling a friend about
Where are we?
Bellevue.
There's the river. The big one. All right, back on the water in Bellevue, Iowa, just below lock number 12. Had a great afternoon and evening yesterday. Went to this brewery right here that I'm paddling past currently. I would say Bellevue is a great river town, and even though I grew up like hour and 15 minutes away from here, I've never been here, so definitely a good stop. Okay, I might be tripping, but it literally feels like I'm paddling up a hill. Not anyone out on the river this morning. It's about 11 o'clock. I've made about 12 miles so far, so going about 5 miles an hour again today, it looks like. We'll see. I'm kind of in a predicament because most of the sandbars are underwater here. And there is a campground at like the 30-mile mark for today, and then the next one isn't until the 50-mile mark. Now, can I do a 50-mile day today? I haven't done one since we got to Minneapolis, since we got to the locks and the dams, because I haven't been able to make enough time. Also, I didn't get on the water till 9 today because I was treated to a Denver omelet breakfast. So, we'll see. We'll see what time I get to the 30-mile one. I would like to go farther. It's pretty risky up here though, because you can go 10 miles or so with just no suitable place to camp. Twilight is back. Saw the same boat yesterday leaving Dubuque. And to our right is actually an island, Sebula, Iowa. Kind of an interesting little get up. And then on the Illinois side of the river up there, where the Twilight boat passed us, is Savannah, Illinois. There's nothing around. There's no land either. Everything's underwater. It's just a strange environment. We are approaching lock number 13, and this pool to get to lock number 13 is quite huge, as you can probably tell on there. So not a ton of current going through at this part of the pool. In other news, we did just pass our first campground option. It's about 3 o'clock. So we're gonna hope that we can either make it to the next one or we can find a sandbar somewhere after we go past Clinton, Comanche, and Fulton, which are all right here after this lock here. Through the lock and we're back to Big Bridge living. Man, that shade felt nice. Man, I don't know why the water goes to the right. That is not where I want to go. Huh. Man. Just past Comanche, Iowa, which means I have either 5 or 10 miles left. I have 2 ideas of where I can camp. The closer one is a county park. It's tucked up inside of a slough that I actually can't go down. I would have to go up. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get to that one, but I'm going to try because I am pretty tired. And then if not, then I guess we'll just keep going like another 5 miles downstream. There is the power plant. So I was talking to the lock master and he said that there is supposed to be a sandbar a couple of miles down from the power plant. The place I originally thought I was gonna camp. I had to go upstream to try to get to it, and then I didn't see any signs of it, so I just gave up. But if this sandbar does not exist, it is about 6:40. So if this sandbar doesn't exist, I'm gonna be in trouble because I haven't seen a suitable campsite since the lock, which was like 3 hours ago. Made it to camp. About 50 miles today. Good morning. It is July 19th, I believe. July 19th. I'm getting a late start this morning because I have to wait for Happy Joe's to open in LeClaire, which is only like 7 miles down the water. Here's my view from shore today. Just tooting along. All right, folks. It is about 10:15 and we're getting on the water. It is later than usual, but it's purposefully late because someone I know knows someone who owns the pizza shop in LeClaire, and they apparently want me to stop there. And they don't open until 11, so I figured, what the heck, might as well stop at Happy Joe's in LeClaire, Iowa. And after that, we'll see. I am running into some lock closures again, so I have 2 more locks that are open, and then after that, they're closed. All right, here's LeClaire. It actually doesn't seem as flooded as I thought it would be, so we'll have to check it out. Special shout out to Happy Joe's in LeClaire, Iowa for the free meal. Well, pretty soon I will be paddling through the Quad Cities. I am currently incredibly full on pizza, cheese tortellini, Mountain Dew, and some weird like sugary breadstick things that were pretty good. So yeah, I think I'll be fueled up enough. I don't think that's gonna be a problem. Weather's not too bad. A little bit of cloud cover, a very slight headwind. The vibes are high. We got about 24 miles to go today. And then we'll see what the deal is with lock 16. Today we go through 14 and 15. Run into a really strange current here. It's pushing me out into the main channel, but I have to take one of them, trying to pick the best line. Some of them have some good standing waves there. Trying to avoid that, obviously. Looks like I'll be going down a chute regardless, unless I can get all the way to the end and just sneak in. I think that might be what I'm gonna try. Here goes nothing, I guess. Not bad. Just get nervous that there's gonna be obstructions in there, and then I'd kind of be screwed. Hitting some industry right at the northern tip of the Quad Cities. I don't really know what that thing is. Is it an old power plant? I don't know what the little tube things are for. They look like something that would be more to do with like grain or something to me, but I think it's a power plant. I think that's what the big candy cane looking stack is for. We do have some big old power lines here as well, so we're gonna go with that. Oh man, water's moving fast over here. Don't want to go into the wall. Lock 14, not the best lock. That lockmaster was not in a good mood. So that lockmaster did not really want to talk to me. When I pulled up, I was like, hey, how's it going? He's like, it's going. And then I was asking him about the other locks, and he was not very friendly about how once I get to lock 16 when it opens, there's a bunch of tows that are waiting to come up and how they're gonna take priority over me. I was like, all right, yeah, I get it. Lock 14, 1 star. All of the other ones, with the exception of 7, they just didn't talk to me at all. It was kind of weird. All the other ones have been great, but 14. Big city stuff. So, lock 15, for the first time I have to wait, said 30, 45 minutes will take you down. So I'm gonna try to get back in this tucked away zone over here so that I can just float around for half an hour if I'm gonna be waiting. Just a waiting. Waiting on the stoplight to change. So this is an interesting lock. I almost missed it because there's just a railroad bridge there. And I think the railroad bridge is actually before the dam. That's what it looks like to me, at least. So I almost thought I could go through it, but then behind it is where the dam is. Interesting. Peace out, Quad Cities. Boy, I don't think I'm gonna hit another big town until St. Louis, probably, which is like another 300 miles. It thins out from here to there, and then from there it gets really thin until Memphis, and then from there it gets thin again until, well, pretty much the whole way. So, unless I'm forgetting about one. I mean, I guess there's probably a couple towns on the Illinois side that I haven't heard of, but as far as the Iowa side goes, you know, we had Dubuque and this, and other than that, I don't think there's anything too big. So if we're doing lock ratings, lock 15, perfectly fine, good. Leave it at that. Better than 14. It can be hard to pee. What do you guys think of these campsites? I kind of like this one. This one looks nice. All right, folks. It is July 19th. It is about 7 o'clock. I have just cooked up some macaroni and cheese. I was not that hungry because of my full-on buffet. Shout out to Happy Joe's and LeClaire. I am currently camping in Buffalo, Iowa. Made it about 35 miles today, even though I got on the water really late and stopped at Happy Joe's for like an hour. Tomorrow I'm gonna try to do some more miles. I have caught up to the flooding, so Lock 16 tomorrow is officially closed. It's about 15 miles away, and I'm gonna try to portage it, so we'll see how that goes. If I had someone with me, I'd feel more confident, but since I'm alone, it can be pretty tough to pick the canoe and all my stuff up over those oftentimes pretty steep and sketchy landings, so we'll see. Overall, good day. Going through Davenport and the Quad Cities was fine. Other than the Lockmaster, Lock 15 seemed nice, and I'm excited to have some mac and cheese. And this is the finished product. Alright, well, I am on the water before 7 a.m. for the first time in weeks because I almost got arrested last night. So, a little after midnight, I was woken up by a Scott County Sheriff's deputy, like, yelling at me outside of my tent. Pack it up and leave. Can't stay here. It's closed. And I was just like, you know, I'd just been woken up and yelled at from outside my tent. So I was like, what the hell is going on? And so I was like, actually, like, seriously? And he's like, yeah, pack it up. I'm gonna need some ID. Either pack it up or you're gonna be spending the night in the Scotts County jail and I'll trespass you. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm at a campground. Like, and he's like, didn't you see it was closed? And so I'm like, my heart's racing, and I'm like, what is going on at this point? Like, am I actually gonna have to get on the river at midnight and just float down it for 5 hours before it gets light again? And so I'm trying to get my stuff together in the tent, and he's like, didn't you see the signs? The park's closed. And I was like, no, I didn't see them. Like, I came in from the water. He's like, came in from the water? What do you mean you came in from the water? And then he looks over, and of course my canoe's there, like 30 feet away. And so he's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. The park's closed. So, moral of the story is, that guy was a deputy and definitely not a detective because there was no car anywhere near me, so obviously I didn't just drive in. And there was a canoe pretty close to my tent if he would have just looked around and been like, huh, I wonder how this guy got here in his tent. But alas, I was woken up at 12 and, you know, that kind of gets your heart racing, so I couldn't really fall asleep again because he just showed up and I woke up to him yelling outside my tent. So I couldn't fall asleep again until like 2:30 or 2:45, and he told me that I needed to get up at first light, so I was like, all right, yes sir. And here I am. But yeah, that was very unexpected. I'm getting whiffs of manure, and I believe that will mark the beginning of the farmland section of the river. So it used to be buffs and more bluffs on each side with just train tracks and some river towns. Now I think it's going to be a little flatter. So I was a bit distracted trying to find a place to pee and pull over, and I completely ended up on the wrong side of the river, on the wrong side of an island. When I have to get on so I was on the right side of the river. I have to get to the left side of the river before the lock, and obviously before the dam there's going to be strong current, so I'm paddling upstream now to try to make my way over to the left bank. And this is going to be a lock that we're actually going to have to portage because it is not open yet because of the high water. So I'm guessing that means that it's going to be a pretty fast current going into it. So hopefully we don't have any problems. This is going to be interesting. We'll see how I can unload this boat up this. Well, we'll see. Right now I'm right next to a big ass barge. Boy, I think they're excited for the lock to open tomorrow. I might have lucked out. This is by far probably the best possible landing before a lock. So we'll see. Had to put the wheels back together. Haven't used them in a few weeks. This is our manufactured portage room. Towards Muscatine. Well, we have survived our early morning with no more encounters with the police or the sheriff or whoever that guy was when he identified himself while I was still asleep. We have made it to Muscatine, Iowa. About 20 miles, we're gonna have another portage through a lock. Lock number 17 is still closed. It's 0.3 feet above when they open it, so it's gonna be below that by midnight tonight. So, you know, maybe I could camp out, and then if I get kicked out of a place at midnight tonight, I could go down to the lock. But I think we're going to portage it, and from then on out, we should be good, and we should be locking on through all the way down to St. Louis and below. Sky looking kind of goofy for 3:45. Today is a fever dream. Alright, well, apparently the lockmaster said that we should just go to the far right and go over the spillway. I'm a little bit nervous about that, but we're gonna try it. Well, here we go. Oh, I think we made it. strange concept. So I am below lock 17 and it is closed currently, as is 16. And I counted 7 barges just waiting in this couple mile stretch here. And I have a theory. They're all kind of idling like this. And my theory is, when I looked at the projections, the lock was supposed to be down to the level at about 1 in the morning. I think it's like NASCAR, where they go back and forth to warm their tires up, and at 1 a.m. it's gonna be go time, and they're all just gonna go for it. And whoever gets there first gets to lock through first. Think about it. Well, so I pulled up to this beach about 2 hours ago, and there were like, this is where I was looking, and I was like, I gotta stop here because there's nowhere else. And there were like 20 boats here. And so I'm paddling by, and they're like, hey, you want some food? And I was like, sure. Well, they pull up and they start feeding me this really good chicken and start forcing bush lights on me. And eventually they're like, you gotta go for a boat ride on these back channels. So they took me out on some back channels, and it was pretty sweet. But yeah, we'll see how I feel about it tomorrow, because they were really keeping me hydrated. So pretty cool. It has turned into a beautiful night after a very cloudy day. And it's the type of stuff that I was really hoping for on this trip, you know? Just the random interactions that would go a lot better than the random interactions of last night. So it's kind of uplifting when you're down in the dumps. Good morning. It is July 21st, I think, and the barges are rocking today because a couple of the locks upstream just opened. Now, luckily I portaged around them, or just ran the spillway, so hopefully where I'm going is a little bit less traffic. But yeah, it's about 8:30. Got a little more sleep than yesterday, and we're gonna see how far we can get today. I decided to be a little more adventurous today, going down some of the little back channels between the islands and stuff, because it does get a little repetitive when you can see 5 miles ahead of you and it's just slowly coming towards you. Coming up on lock 18, and it is open, so we're actually gonna lock through, which we didn't get to do yesterday. Burlington, Iowa, and some dark skies. The Burlington. I am getting to be pretty nervous about finding a place to sleep tonight. There is just nowhere here. It's about 4:30 and I haven't seen anything that could be a sight. I've seen one since Burlington, and that was like 4 hours ago. And I was looking at maps, and it's pretty much just a big lake all the way to Keokuk, and that's like another 50 miles. Which I'm definitely not making it there tonight. It's like 4:30. So we'll see. Well, guys, what do you think? Let's take a look at this open area. I think I'm gonna make it into a campsite just because I haven't seen much at all today. It's kind of swampy, but lots of debris. I think I can move some of it for a tent pad. Probably some of this stuff. It's still a little squishy on the ground and a little gross the farther back you go. If you go back too far, you'll be back in the swamp again. classic Mississippi River stuff. I don't know if there's gonna be another anywhere else, really. So I think I'm just gonna, oh, I'm peeling. I think I'm just gonna call it a day and get up early tomorrow, and hopefully it gets better below Keokuk. This is like a 40 or a 50 mile pool without a dam, and then the one in Keokuk's pretty big, so I'm thinking maybe that's why there's not much built up, also because of the flooding. So hopefully once we get below Keokuk, it'll be better tomorrow. It is the evening of July 24th. I did end up setting up camp at the swamp spot. Swamp music. Went about 38 miles today, I think. Not too bad. Could have went farther, but I was looking at the map and it did not look very promising. Looking at the satellite pictures, and I think it would be a struggle all the way down to Keokuk. Keokuk tomorrow, there's a huge dam, and after that I think it's going to be easier to find campsites, which I am really looking forward to, because there's nothing fun about paddling at like 7 or 8 p.m. and not seeing anything, or even in the middle of the day, going for like 4 or 5 hours and not seeing a single place you could camp. It sucks. Tomorrow we're going to do the Keokuk Dam and hopefully put in a pretty big day, and that will be the end of Iowa. So today, good day. Not too hot, a lot of cloud cover during the paddling portion of the day. Got to camp and I made a Italian special. I combined some Chef Boyardee spaghetti and meatballs with a Nor Pasta Side marinara. And this is not the final product. This is actually water in the bowl so that I can clean it. But imagine that residue before it was just residue. And I think you'll like what you're seeing. Tomorrow we say goodbye to Iowa and maybe even hit 1,000 miles on our trip. Good sunny morning, folks. Today we're gonna go to the end of Iowa and enter into Missouri. We're gonna go down the biggest lock on the Mississippi, or the biggest dam. That will be in Keokuk, Iowa. And it's about 8 o'clock. We've got about 25 miles before Keokuk still, so we're not gonna get there until this afternoon. Before that, we go through the city of Fort Madison. And let's get on with it. A freaking gar just rose, like just right at the front of the boat. It was pretty cool. I was like, what the heck? It was gone, but it was definitely a gar. Big long nose, light color, pretty skinny. I thought I saw one yesterday, but I definitely did now. We've got a barge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 long. I think that's a new record. 6 long. Just above Fort Madison, and I'm guessing this thing's gonna throw up a bit of a wake going upstream with that many barges, so we'll get ready. This is a wild bridge. You got trains on the bottom, and then on top there's cars going over it, and then it also opens up for barges, and canoes can just go right under it, hopefully. You're telling me a fort built this, Madison? Southbound canoe to lock 19. Could I get a lockdown?
We started off before I started school. Mom and Dad said we're headed south, we're gonna move. Well, I hung on.
You back to the southbound canoe? Yeah, get down here in Fort Base, Skipper, and all we gotta do is drop the gate for you.
Sounds good, thank you. Got a hook on this one. I hope this thing comes down with me. Otherwise the hook's not gonna do me very good. how far down we go. Sliding on down.
In memory or in the
I
night.
heard this was like 15 feet, so
Someday I'll put off
we'll see.
somewhere near this and I'll find that little church where my family filled the pew. I spent my whole life running.
Going down.
It's gonna be a long way home. It's gonna take my heart and soul. It's gonna be a long way home. It's gonna take.
Bada bing, bada bam, folks. The GoPro is dead as of the Keokuk Dam, but we're in Missouri. Sayonara to Iowa. Get ready to speak Missourian. I am going through a slough because I was tired of just paddling out on the big open water. It's nice for a change of scenery. Look at this Missourian slough. Over there, there's even land. That's interesting. For the past couple of weeks, the water would have been like up here, so all of this would have just been wet through. Alright, I gotta put this away so I don't hit this tree. Look at these eagles. So I got to the lock, and there's a barge going through right now, but it's kind of funny. This guy clearly has a southern accent. I get to Missouri, as you can imagine, the first lock that is in Missouri, and it's southern accent. So I'm gonna wait right here on the bank, and we'll see how long it takes me, but nothing we can do, and honestly, a little surprised we didn't run into this issue earlier, so I can't really complain. Squeeze. Let's get a little zoom on that bad boy. Here he's coming. Takes a while. I'm gonna get to camp a little bit late tonight. If I was thinking, I would have just had something to eat here, but I didn't know how long it would take. It has been over an hour, so I decided I'm just gonna eat, and we'll see. Here's what I made. Actually pretty fire. With this beef taco filling. Pretty good. It is past 7 o'clock. It is just shy of 2 hours that I've been waiting here, so hopefully I can get out without a problem. I know there's another barge waiting below, so hopefully that's not a big deal.
Back to lock 20. Back. Hey Joey, there's a canoe or something around, or are they already in the chamber? I don't see them. They're in the chamber now. We're about ready to send them down south. Right, I just didn't know where they were. I wanted to make sure I wasn't gonna get in their way. Roger.
Hoping to God that it's still on. I doubt it though, because the rest of it's flooded. I have less than a gallon left. Oh, bad news, it was not on. So that means we'll make it through tonight, and then tomorrow we need to go to the first possible town, and even if it's not convenient, probably just ask somebody, and if we have to walk or have somebody fill it up, then that's what we'll do, I guess. Not even to St. Louis yet. I shouldn't be having these problems. But I suppose maybe now I should start rocking with the 2 5-galloners. I've only been rocking with the one because it hasn't been a problem. So we'll make it through, but tomorrow it needs to be a priority. As much as I hated waiting there for 2 hours, and as much as I don't like not having a campsite at 7:30, look at this. How could you not enjoy paddling in this? It's so peaceful. You can hear the cicadas in the back. I don't know if they're behind me too, but in front of me there's a bunch of birds just swooping around. Man, if it isn't the Show Me State. The only thing that would make this better is if I had water to drink. I am in urgent need of a campsite. I should not be taking a video. I should be paddling and trying to find a site because it's 7:45, but I mean, look at this. Man, our standards have went down pretty quickly for sites. But I think I'll be able to fit a tent in here, and I tried a different spot, but I couldn't even unload there because it was such a drop off. It went from like this little bank of mud to about 5 foot deep. This looks like it'll do the trick though. Well, I got a site. Bugs are bad. Pretty muddy, sunk in pretty hard right here, but I think what I'm gonna do, since I already ate, set my tent up and just get in there and go to bed, because it's been a good day and there's no reason to sit around in the swamp tonight.